Welcome, everybody, to the Past Life Practitioners Certification. I'm so honored that you are here, and we're going to be going through some techniques that some of them you may have touched base on before, or perhaps you haven't even heard of. Either way, this is the perfect place to get started, whether you're a budding beginner and you're just curious about past life, or whether you're a veteran in the industry and you're like, you know what, I've heard it all. If you can take away a golden nugget from my teachings, then we've just enhanced each other and enhanced the futures for other people. So who am I? So I'm Trish Pellin. I'm from Pellin and Palmer Specialty Hypnosis Training. So I started working in the healing industry back in 1999. What happened with me? So I fell off a bridge and I broke my back in several places and was paralyzed from the waist down. I was told I would never walk again. I was 13 at the time and I had watched G.I. Jane and I was like, you know what? I'm going to join the army. So I started doing commando courses. Unfortunately, on one of the commando courses, we were going over a rope bridge. I used to have hair so long that I could sit on it. And when we went over the rope bridge snapped. It curled my hair as it ricocheted back, and then it smashed me into the ground probably about 4 or 5 meters up into a dry riverbed. And I got up and I walked away. And then I said to all my comrades, I'm like, look, I said, I need to go lie down. My back's not real good. I laid down and I didn't get back up for over a year. So I then went into learning massage because I had done physio, I had done, like all this cupping and things like that, and it just didn't work for me. And I ended up going to a massage therapist, and it was like, unbelievably amazing. And I was actually paralyzed from the waist down. And I was sitting there one day at a sports convention, and I had no feeling in my toes. And as I was sitting there, all of a sudden I got this searing pain down my left leg, and it was so horrible. And it's kind of like having pins and needles in your hands, and it just didn't go away. And it was so unbearable. And even though I had crutches, I could still use my legs as stilts. Right. And and then suddenly I got this searing pain, and I was like, oh my gosh, just, like this means your nerves are working, just start moving them, sort of thing. Because this lady had helped me with massage, and I'd gotten really interested in the body and how the nervous system works. And and then I was just like, wriggle your toe, wriggle your toe. And then fast forward many, many years, and that movie Kill Bill came out, and Uma Thurman was talking about wriggling your toe and taking control of your body with your mind. And here I am today. I'm now 40 years old. I've been doing soccer, so I've run across fields and stuff like that. I've been skating as well, so even at the age of 40, I'm still walking. I have my bad days like everybody does, so what? But when I was doing my massaging, I would hear all my clients talk to me, because you become a counselor when you're a massage therapist. And I had many, many clients over the years, and their biggest question was, how do you just let it go? And the answer was always, you just do, or forgiveness. And that's a very general answer. Like, it's a real cop out of an answer, and it really does go much deeper than that. And there's a lot of people out there that'll go, oh, well, maybe the person wasn't ready to move on. No, it wasn't that. They were open when they were asking you that question. However, we didn't have the response to trigger the unconscious mind to let it go just so simply. And that's what we're going to be delving into inside of this course, is that a past life can just be a few moments ago, or it can be much more in depth than that. And that's why I started learning all of this stuff, because it helped me so much. My brother committed suicide. I think I was about 21 at the time, 22. And very, very traumatic experience. And the biggest thing that I struggled with was the scream that came out of my mum's mouth when I told her that Ben had passed away. And it haunted me to my soul. I watch a lot of horror movies, and I've never heard that scream ever replicated in my life. And, it haunted my dreams. It haunted my waking hours for years. And then when I went back to those moments and did that past life healing, that's when I could finally settle down, and I could let go of that sound that kept ricocheting in my dreams. I don't know how many times I woke up maybe just like and I'd hear that scream, and it's just horrifying. And being able to let that go basically saved my life and allowed me to go into other motions for my life. So this is much, much more than just who you were in a past life or parallel realms of life between lives. It can be a life that you've lived when you got betrayed or something along those lines. So it goes much deeper than just you just do, or you just let it go, or you forgive yourself. It's much, much deeper than that. So what are we going to go to? In module number 1, I'm going to start off with debunking. You have come here because you're curious, or, perhaps you're like, oh, maybe I'll just give this a whirl. First, we must debunk in order to move forward, because if we move forward first and then you get to a stage where you're blocked with the learning, suddenly it'll be like, oh, hang on, what? I need to debunk first based on the knowledge that we have. Module number 2, we're going to be talking about what is past life and life between lives. Then we'll go into module number 3, which will be the consultation. So when your client comes in to consult you, about what services they may want, what they want to shift and move, or what's going on in their life. I'm also going to go through comebacks as well, because when you start charging for this service, many people they say things like, oh, I've got to check in with my husband first, or blah, 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 blah. I'm going to teach you some comebacks in order to help that client make the decision for the truest of themselves, rather than based on the budget, or one of their kids needs dental work or something like that. How to make it work for them. I'm also going to take you through exploring scenes, and this is something I wasn't taken through until I got experience, and it's a bit scary when you come across these things and you don't have any previous knowledge about how it was handled via the teacher. So exploring scenes, which is say a death scene or anything like that, because if you're taking someone back to a past life or back to a past trauma, and we need to explore those scenes, how do you explore them safely so that your client doesn't go into abreactions? And then that'll merge into the discussion about safety and abreactions when it comes to the client being in a blubbering mess or not coping or anything along those lines. So I've been in those situations. I know how to handle them and how to get your client to leave in a good state after having that release. In module number 4, we're going to be talking about the itch bin process. In module number 5, I'm going to teach you adaptations for life between lives and group sessions, because there are some things you need to change up. Module number 6, we're going to be talking about working online versus in the clinic, because many of us can network all across the world these days via Zoom or Skype, and there are a couple of tweaks and changes you need to make in order to ensure not only that your client is safe, but that they're going to achieve the results that they want. And then in module number 7, I'm going to give you a heap of bonus scripts for inspiration. Past life is very intuitive when we go through it, but I can give you a basic recipe to help guide you along the way. And then you can go, you know what, I'm going to chuck this in, I'm going to take that out, make your own recipe of success. But having something to guide you can really assist you towards getting the goal for your client. Now, before I go any further, I'd like to introduce you to our Facebook group. Let's pop on over to the other section and have a look at that. So I invite you to join our Facebook group. It's called Specialty Hypnosis Training with Pellin and Palmer. We have lots of free resources. You do not have to give your email address to sign up. You can just simply click on join and then tell me where you came from, so I know that you're in the right place. If you navigate over to files, which is just here, click on that, and you will find a wealth of information and PDFs that you can download so that you can use not only on yourself but inside of your clinic as well. So let's move into module number 1 now, where we're going to debunk some of those fallacies, some of those thoughts, some of those situations that you may come across, or perhaps some things that, some people have said and we've just believed. I mean, we've all done it and we'll all continue to do it in the future. And, we need to start debunking that so that you can start making up your own mind based on where you want to go and how you want to do it. I'll catch you in the next module. Bye-bye.